It's my crutch word.
Oh, rattle, 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 rat.
Now I gotta
You
find.
and Matthew McConaughey.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of people say we're the same person, so makes sense.
You are virtually identical. So
Yeah, makes sense. All right, here we are. We are live. Wave Funk, say hello to your endearing fans. That's the only reason why they're here.
How are you all doing today? Wonderful.
Beautiful, beautiful. Now the sound is all messed up now. This is the Wave and Gibbs Power Ranking Show. We are back. This, like, honestly, Wave, like I was thinking about it, this might be the last NA Power Ranking Show because
you don't want to do one after. I guess it doesn't matter after.
Yeah, like we could. I'm just saying because I was thinking about it. I'm like, well, after that, it doesn't matter, right? But we still could, and then we could do like maybe a London one right before London or something, or more of like a prediction. You know, whatever.
Wins power rankings. We could also do a global power rankings before London.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like a Worlds one,
Yeah.
Or not Worlds, but yeah, global. But yeah, we're here. We power rank every 2 weeks after the tournament is over. And we give our takes on why we put teams where they did. So these were last week's or 2 weeks ago's rankings. Right off the top, let's see what our differences was. Snowman, I think I win a point there. LG, Wave wins a point there. And Cloud9, Wave wins a point there because he had him 8. So I think Wave wins 2 points to 1. So
let's go! I'm better at this than Gibbs. That's crazy.
It's a competition, and I am sad.
I would say my Snowman take was more egregious than either of your takes. But I don't know.
Wave, just take the win. I win everything else on the show, all right? Just take the win. Poor James was like, I'm finally going to get him. No, didn't happen, James.
Nope. Does not happen, folks.
All right,
let's see. This fraudulent Spaceman, you didn't even put LG in your top 10. I don't want to hear from you, okay? Like,
Spaceman
comes in here talking about frauds.
Yeah, where's
goes
LG?
On the biggest talk show in Rocket League, doesn't vouch for his team.
You're just lucky if LG's even on this list at all. All right, Spaceman. Why don't you just leave
He is.
Jeez, what an idiot. What an idiot.
Do we? Is
okay. I love you, Spaceman.
Let's do. I would want to do this the way we talked about last time. We just start with one of our number 10s, and then the other tells you where their number 10 is.
Unless you want to do something different.
No, I think that's good. I like it.
All right. Since you won, why don't you start?
All right. My number 10. You can just hit Control Z 3 times. It's still TSM.
They stay on the board, eh? Okay.
They do stay on the board here. There were 3 teams in their spot, and or in that like that went out in round 5.
Yeah.
So the 9 through 11 teams here, and I really wanted to put LG here, Spaceman. I really did. I really wanted to put them there next to the 1 and the 0.
Oh boy.
I like the aura on that team so much. I love Slater. I love Reddles. That's the same person. I love Magic Bear. I love Cheese. I every one of those players is so much fun to watch. They're still one of my favorite teams to get to watch. I love getting to watch LG play. But there's an intensity to this TSM roster right now. I feel like they're building momentum while LG is losing momentum, and right now they're just crossing paths at 9 and 11, like 9 through 11th spots. Like TSM's strength of schedule slightly better this week. And mainly it's just kind of this energy thing. I don't know. I feel like TSM feels good about their 11th while LG feels bad about it.
Yeah. When I was looking at TSM, I didn't look that closely, to be fair, because I kind of like came up with 10 and then like I was like, all right, I think I'm good. But now looking at who they had to play, they did have to play a lot of tough teams, and they did get 2 quality wins, and they just got like an unlucky draw. Yeah. But that last loss is what matters to me, Wave. And my number 10, I'm going to put them here now. I needed to put Dignitas back on my list. Because they were one of those, like...
This low?
Yes. Barely on it. Barely on it. I had to put them back on. I want to make sure I got that right. Yes, barely on it. They didn't do anything, really, through this Swiss. Like, so I knew that they were probably going to be a good team at some point, right? They did look good in the quarterfinals, but it was still a loss. So I'm like, all right, yes. They went toe-to-toe with Space Station, but they still lost. But their day prior, they didn't really do anything. They lost OG, they lost to Snowman, they beat Spade, Energy, and TSM. And they beat Energy in 5, TSM in 5. So it wasn't like the greatest quality of Swiss. They did show up, like, again, on Saturday, much, much better. So I could see why they could be power ranked higher. I was just happy to see that they were competitive again, and I expect that they will probably move up, but because at the end of the day, if you just look at wins and losses, they didn't really do a lot, and there's a lot of these teams in the middle. It's gonna be very close. So I have Dig at 10.
Fascinating. So do you not have TSM on the
I
list?
do not. TSM is not.
No
on my list.
TSM on your list.
Yes.
Okay. Well, Dignitas for me, NA is the thing I liked about this week is that NA got a bit wider. I feel like we had like the teams at the top are a bit like it's not. It is still kind of big too, but there are more planets orbiting around those suns right now.
There's moons on those planets.
Yeah, it's still not very deep though, and I've got Dignitas at number 7, but that's like it's not because they're better than 8, 9, and 10. Not because they're like really that close, in my mind, to 1 through 6.
Yeah. So really quick, do you not have LG on your list because you mentioned them before?
I do not have LG on my list.
All right, I'm gonna go then and throw LG where I have them because I have LG at 7.
Okay.
So
really,
Luminosity, it's a weird one. Like obviously they were at the major. We know that they can get there. I'm not saying they were the greatest major team ever. They beat Snowmen. They beat NAC. Obviously, a big win, NAC, Nether American. Like, I don't even try. Then, 3 quality losses, right? Space Station, OG, and Cloud9. I can't really fault them for that. And last week, where did I have them last week? I have too many windows here. Let me see. LG I had at 6. So I dropped them 1 spot. Because they lost to teams that they were supposed to lose. And really, that one drop down is because Cloud9's like moving up. So like, yes, it was just a little bit unlucky, I would say. And they took down Snowmen, which is a quality win nowadays.
That's the Space Station OG Cloud9 3 losses in a row. You only won 3 games in those 3 matches. Yeah. And it's not like you get to choose to play the stronger teams. I don't give them any credit for facing Cloud9. The fact that they lost against Cloud9 is...
Yeah, but so what I'm saying is, like, if LG played TSM right now, I would be confident LG would win. I'm not saying they, like, very confident.
Really?
Because, again, it would be close. But I would say LG would be my favorite in that matchup.
Yeah.
For instance.
I don't know. I'm less and less... I've had that, like, LG is, like, my favorite... Is, like, my I don't know. I'm a fan. I picked them because I'm a fan. I picked them because I want them to win. They got that underdog energy that I'm excited about. But the fact that they were at Copenhagen and then yet have done nothing to change, they've changed nothing and yet are having worse and worse results is, I don't know. I feel like I feel a little more confident in TSM right now.
I get that. But like, I feel like it's almost like the hype meter. Like when you're really hyped for a movie and then you go in and it's mediocre, it gets a worse grade than if you weren't expecting anything and then you go into it and it's like, oh, okay. So I'm like more of like, I don't know. Like I wasn't expecting a ton from LG. I was expecting more, obviously, like at least top 8s. But I did expect them to be in that 2 and 2 round. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah.
We can agree to disagree.
I'm fascinated to see who you've got in 8 and 9 here.
I know. Like this is probably gonna be the most interesting part. And then after that, I think we're gonna be somewhat similar.
Yeah. So. I was really excited for the top teams, and then G2 still wins, and I don't know if it actually shakes up that much. You know, I was like, we almost got an exciting top 4. All right, yeah. So I don't have LG. I have my number 9 is Snowman. Actually, let's. This is a correction. They dropped 4 spots, but maybe they shouldn't have been up 4 spots. From here. They made believers out of me last week. My faith isn't gone just yet. They got swept by Rebellion in round 5. You're right, and that does suck. The 3-1 loss to LG as well kind of hurts my image of them most.
Sure.
But they did take Gen G to Champions Field, and they aren't getting whooped in any of their games. They're close losses here. I'm hopeful they can have a strong showing in the final online event of the season. I think that Snowman. I'm optimistic that this was a little bit an underperformance from them rather than an actual like standard peak performance for them.
I was happy to see that they backed it up, like personally, because that was my concern. Is like they're just gonna like finish 9th after this, or never mind, they actually did. Sorry, I don't know what they, but they like, or maybe a 1-3, because like what I would mean to say is like they lost LG. To me, that was expected. They lost to Gen.g. That's expected. They lost that SR. That's expected, at least in terms of my eyes. So their Swiss run was very difficult, but they did take down 2 very good teams as well. Took down Moist and Dig, and maybe Moist has fallen off a bit, like obviously not in the top 10. Dig for me is number 10, but it did show that it's like I was kind of worried that they might not even qualify. Like, honestly,
Right,
because
yeah.
like you could see that happening where they just drop off, but they also 3-0'd through that as well, and they dominated there. So I was actually pretty happy with what I saw out of them. But I did have Snowmen also at 9. I dropped them 1 spot. I had them at 8 last time around. Again, mostly due to the Cloud9 like resurgence, where Cloud9's moving up a bunch. Everyone is going to drop down. But to me, it was exactly where I thought they might be. Like in that 2-2 round, it depends on matchups if they make it out. And obviously that 2-2 round was just brutal, and it didn't work out for them. They got like the hardest team that came out of the 1-2 round. So Snowmen, hats off to you. I feel like they are a team to watch out for again here in this last qualifier.
Okay. I think we're kind of in agreement there. Okay. This is the team I'm most curious about. The team I thought is the most spicy here.
Okay.
Where do you have M80?
Okay, that's good, because that was going to be my next one I was going to talk about. M80 can no longer be any power ranking number outside of 8. That is literally the only spot they can possibly be. They're clearly a top 8 team, but they're clearly the worst quarterfinals team in the history of Rocket League. So there's literally no other spot from now on. Even though I had them at 4 last time, I was very confident in them.
Yep.
But they have disappointed me too often that they are now number 8 forever.
Yep.
Don't even care.
Gibbs, they told us who they were from the beginning.
They did.
They get to 8, and then they get 0 after that. Okay?
It's true.
They get to top 8, and then it's 0. They're M80, not M80. We've been misreading the name the whole time. I've got them at 8 as well here. I'm sick of this. I'm like, I don't understand. I don't want to believe in a curse, and it's just clear from the players' reactions. They don't think it exists. When they're on Twitter, they're like, I don't know what's going on, right? They're like, they're just as dumbfounded. They're not making excuses. They're clearly going in expecting to win on Saturday. At some point, though, it genuinely starts to feel real. What it does, it literally does not matter who they play. They cannot win. They fall apart. And it's like something is either spiritually or tangibly wrong with this team in bracket play. I just can't for the life of me understand how their results can swing so dramatically from one day to the next. They had literally just beaten Cloud9. They roll it. They go to bed, wake up, lose. It's crazy.
And at least that was a game 5, to be fair. And Cloud9 did look good because we saw them later in that top 4 round. They did look better. But still, M80... they got to find a way. And it's really now or never for pretty much all these teams. I did a quick video on reasonable takes for to make it. I believe M80, a top 4, I think, has a possibility to have them tied with the last spot. That's if an OG or Cloud9, the max they get is top 8, which is possible.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's not, because they have to play a quarterfinal match. So M80... they got to figure it out. They got one more try. They tried 5 times. Didn't work out, but one more chance. But they literally can't be anything but 8, because everyone wants to play them in the quarterfinal round. So
that it is crazy that if they go 3-0 in Swiss and then you go out in round 5 of Swiss, you're like, I really hope we get the team to win 3-0 in Swiss. That's crazy.
But it's wild, because if you're a North American fan that just wants the region to do well, you probably want M80 at the LAN, because you could probably guarantee at least top 8, right? From your 3rd seed or 4th seed of NA, which is unlikely with the other teams, right? Like if a Cloud9 and OG go or something like that, or one of them goes. Space Station is probably that other team that will probably make it out of top 8 or at least be competitive. But if you wanted a solid 4, I think for the highest placements possible, you would want SSG plus M80 there, but it's looking unlikely that they will.
Yeah, that'd be fascinating. You're like, you send M80 just to deny a bracket spot from Europe, and to hopefully get a matchup against an NA team to send an NA team
to move them
4.
on. I don't know what's going on, but it's rough. It's rough.
That is rough for them. They dropped. Actually, they gained a spot last week. They dropped 2 spots for me this week. And they're probably going to stay there until they do something else.
Yep.
Okay, next on my list, I've got number 6. I've got Rebellion right now. I think I don't really know where else I would put them at this point. They are kind of the bridge to the rest of the teams. It's kind of like the teams that I'm like, okay, I'm starting to have faith in you. Is everybody above this? Shopify is still in that. Not really sure. Like they've looked strong in Swiss. They've had some good Swiss results. They had to go to round 5, but they managed to make it out of Swiss. They have yet to win a game in bracket though. They've gotten swept both times they've been in bracket. Yes, they're going up against the big dogs, but those are the teams you prove yourself against. And teams like SSG are at least taking them to game 7 every time around. So Shopify, it's kind of I don't know. I don't feel like I have anything new to say. They didn't really. My opinion of them didn't change. They do gain a spot here, but it's more that like I had to put Dig on the list, and I wasn't going to put them that high. So they gained.
Then for me, like they didn't have a great tournament at all. They lost to TSM round 1. They lost to OG. They beat Energy, Moist, and Snowmen 3-0. So that's their one big win. Besides that, they kind of just like barely made it through to the 2-2 round. That's kind of where I expect them to be, though. In that 2-2 round, they're very inconsistent. We talk about them. They can put up some crooked offensive numbers. They actually put up a lot of goals against G2. Is 9 goals in 4 games. But I'm not incredibly confident with them. I think they have a chance to make land because they can pop off at times as well. They just got to do it for a whole weekend. And make like a top 4 appearance. But I don't really know what to do with them either. So I also have them at 6.
I'm trying to remember. Was that I asked for the stat. That was the most goals that have been scored on G2 in a sweep. Like where G2 won in a sweep, but
I wonder
scored that TSM had put up 9 on them or put up 8 on them before. This was one more than that.
So I wonder if like average goals against in a match, like it doesn't even have to be a sweep. Probably only gen.g has done better, and maybe M80 versus G2. But that was a weird one because that also hurt both of our fantasy numbers for that weekend.
It did. We wanted them to do worse.
Yeah, we're like, what are you guys doing? Stop scoring. What's going on here?
Go on. So I mean, it is. I mean, it's kind of funny. It's like I was like, oh well, they didn't win a single game. They haven't won a single game in bracket, right? But they're putting up the best numbers in a series where you don't get a single game win. And it's kind of like we're like, oh, we took them to game 7, but they didn't win the whole series. It's like take that, but like scale it down to like a sweep level. I don't know.
They're like in the bubble between they're kind of disappointing us or they're looking great, right? And it's like they're kind of right in the middle. They're like neutral. I feel like LG and below and Dig for You and below are like they're pretty disappointing right now. But like SR, I don't know. They're just like in the middle. They're just doing their thing. Doing their thing.
They're the asteroid belt.
Yeah.
Right now.
So I'll go next, I guess, because I think you went on that one. Number 5 is where I slotted in Cloud9. I don't like it's hard because they did look fantastic at times. Like in that playoff run, they look like a top caliber North American team. They've also been relatively consistent. They keep getting top 8s. I guess my one worry is like the pro split power rankings had them at like 11, which would have been 12 if Dig was on that list. Like, have they actually improved that much? Will this be consistent? I think they have kind of shown it twice, but they did lose to the Snowmen in qualifier 4, like in that quarterfinals, and obviously they were looking good. But they're like, they've shown it to me twice, just enough to have them be number 5. And I think that playoff run really did push them up my ranks. Because if they would have beat M80 and just got smacked by G2, they probably would have fell down a couple. But they did fight really hard, and they look good doing it. So I think Cloud9, like if they keep this form, they should be going to the major between them and OG. And honestly, they're looking solid.
Yeah, that was a huge performance from them. The 2 brackets in a row was great. I mean, say what you will about M80. We were, talking about how crazy it is that like anyone wants to face them because they literally can't win. But, coming back to earth for a second, Cloud9 beat a team in a single elimination event, a team with more experience than them. This was the first time 2 of them made top 4. No, one of them. It was just Percy, right, who had made 14.
It was 2. It was 2. It was
okay. Yeah, no, but Percy had like the longer record of like making top 8 but not making top 4. Yeah.
Yeah.
So like them coming in there, making that result, that was huge. I mean, M80s were definitely still the favorites in that matchup, even with all of the curses hanging over their head, and Cloud9 was able to get the upset there. So the defense super compelling, offense it's getting there. I mean, honestly, if that offense becomes a little bit more stable, like the most popular Oregon Rock League is going to have a really killer team on its hands. So, love seeing them here. It is a little bit of, I do sort of feel like our top. This is, I think this is, I do think this is for me where like the top 5 is starting right now. I feel like there's the biggest gap on this roster right now is between C9 and Shopify in terms of power rankings.
Yeah, like this is where we feel good about these teams. I feel like, at the grand scheme. And some of that is just results driven, but again, like I know what, like I didn't really credit Dignitas versus Space Station that high, and that went to Champions Field. And I am crediting Cloud9 versus G2 a bit more, but
yeah,
I don't know. I'm just feeling good about Cloud9. I'm feeling good.
Yeah, no, I get like not wanting to like shoot them up to top 6 here, and I honestly I still feel like we still need to see them play some of these other teams. I want to see Dignitas versus Cloud9, and stuff like that. So, we'll see as that now that they are making Swiss again, we can start to actually see some of those matchups. Okay, I feel like the top 4 here is there. It's in my mind there is a correct answer.
Okay.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like there's we'll see. Number 4, it's OG.
Yeah, okay. That was the only one I was a little concerned with. Would you put them at 4 or 3 because of their win? But yes, I have them at 4 as well.
Yeah, no, like you put that they go up against, they beat Gen.g, so they literally I can't put anyone else at 4. But at 3, I'm not. It's how far are you dropping Gen.g is the only question I feel like here, and I feel like there's. Knowing you, there's one spot you're going to put them at, and that's about it. So,
not necessary. Well, you mean because I can only drop them 1?
Yeah, you're not. There's no way you're dropping them to 4. And I wasn't dropping them to 4 either. They had one series where they managed to beat a team that finally was able to stick up and be really strong.
We talked about that too, like a couple weeks ago. Like they will get traded wins at some point, but even when they trade wins, they're going to hold their spots pretty firmly because of those big gaps. Space Station, and I didn't even think about this, but obviously Space Station beat OG, so you can't even have OG at 3. Yeah. But Space Station also a pretty big gap. Like if OG played G2 and G2 beat them and Space Station, I don't know, somehow lost to Cloud9, I would probably have Space Station at 3 anyway, because Space Station also kind of had that bigger island by themselves. So, like, OG is on the right path to move up. They moved up 1 spot for me because I had M80 at 4. I can't believe I did that. I cursed them myself. But OG, there's not much more to move them up. And I guess we'll just fill in 3 Space Station for you as well.
Yeah, no, okay. It's OG. Yeah. Oh, I mean, OG, like, it was crazy that they lost to Gen.g and then also came back and beat Gen.g. We were talking about Cloud9 against M80 being that way, and OG kind of did the same thing here. But anyway, SSG making it to finals, beating them there. It was pretty it's SSG. You got to keep it number 3, and then at this point it's Gen.g and G2. They're just trading back and forth. Whoever does better is kind of on top for that week right now. Congratulations, G2 got the upper hand on this one, partially because Gen.g gave it to them. But
sure, yeah, exactly. It's like whoever wins the tournament. And I think if like G2 would have lost to Cloud9, I probably would have had Gen.g above them still. But that was probably the only way.
That would have been so much more fun. That would have been so much more fun. There's actually a conversation to have where I feel like because of the way things actually panned out, it was
because like G2 also like they took down Space Station, right? So it's like you have to give them that credit. Obviously, they're the best team in NA until proven otherwise. But you got one less qualifier to see who is better or worse. Obviously, Gen.g has beaten G2 4 times in a row, but G2 a lot more consistent versus everyone else, and in bracket play that will play a factor at some point, and it did this time around. And Gen.g finally kind of made that one mishap on a playoff day. So
obviously Gen.g versus G2, there's something right now with the win streak they've going on. You want to pick Gen.g in that matchup, but G2 literally not missing a grand finals the entire season. We have one more event before we're at the second major, and they will have they have to not miss a grand finals. They could go on there's only 3 more grand finals the rest of the season.
Sure,
they've done more than half of the grand finals so far. So they could pull off the whole season. It'd be crazy if they did. But Crowley says M80 being both of us putting M80 at 8 is a very quote. I think I looked at placements in the regional ranking and not about who M80 beat and lost to in the last 2 regionals. Carly, where would you put M80 right now?
There's literally M80 is the worst quarterfinal team in the history of RLCS. So they're guaranteed 8. I don't care about their results, Curly. I literally don't care. They are going 8 until they win a goddamn quarterfinal matchup. All right,
yeah.
I am not moving them.
Cloud9 in quarters. I don't want to hear who they beat before that.
I don't care. They are the best team in Swiss. They are the worst team in playoffs. So they're 8. That's where they go. I don't care anymore. I had M80 at 4 last time around, and that backfired on me considerably. Because yes, Curly, I was on your path last time, but I'm sick and tired of this. All right, I'm done.
If LG somehow, like by a gift from God, made bracket, they would be begging God to put them up against M80 right now, Crowley. That's who they want to face, okay? Because they're the top 8 team. That's who they are.
I'm just done with
Swiss
M80.
doesn't matter when you literally cannot win in quarterfinals. I like that because Swiss just defied seeding for bracket, and when you're guaranteed an L in bracket, yeah, you're just 8th. I'm sorry.
I'm sorry. It's been 5 times.
Curse
all right,
real.
It's 5 times. Like, shame on me. Like, after 4 times, I didn't have him at 8. It took me 1 more, all right? Like, I want to believe, Corelli, but I'm sorry. They're going to 8 until they can prove to us they can win a quarterfinal. That's it.
Corelli,
I'm done.
Name a team you predict M80 against in bracket right now. Just name them. I'll wait.
Energy.
Because right now, I predict Netherlands Canada against M80. Yeah, I'd predict NRG against M80 right now.
Oh, man.
Just saying.
Let's put BDW in there. Wallace. Let's go. Or Wellis. Sorry.
Let's go, Wellis.
Let's go.
Oh, well. You know what? I think this is an infallible, perfect power ranking.
It is.
We cooked here.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely. And Corelli can suck it. All right? That's simple.
No, this isn't about me. Wow. And we gave him an opportunity to give out an opinion on the show, and he backs right out.
You have your own power ranking show, all right? There's a Jorby Corelli power ranking show at some point. I don't know if they did it this week.
We need to go in their chat and do the exact opposite with wherever he puts M80 here. Be like, what?
Or be like, where are you putting LG? Like, what are you doing? But
good to see you, Jack.
I mean, it's mostly like it's a little bit of a meme pick, to be fair. Because like I had them so high before, right? I had them 4.
Yeah. No, I was putting them top 4 as well.
And it's like, okay, like maybe they can move up like 1 spot, I guess. But like if you can't win in quarterfinals, I'm just done. You're just 8. You're just 8 until proven otherwise. Like I don't know. I don't know what to do with it.
Swiss does matter, but it's literally half the tournament. So
it matters, but at the same time, Gen G would be a very mediocre team if that mattered a ton. Right? Because like they don't have a great record on Swiss, but they show up in playoffs, and that's where it counts. So I don't know. It's tough. It's always tough, but yeah.
Yeah, it's a pretty Wait, has Shopify made top 4? Lawler's saying the other 3 have all made top 4, and M80 haven't. Cloud9 has, LG has.
I mean, literally everyone has. Like, my mother's made a top 4 in NA. Where's M80 at? Like, I would pick my mother, who's never played Rocket League, over M80. All right, Crowley? Jesus. In the quarterfinals, let's go.
Open your eyes and watch the game, Crowley.
It was Mother's Day and everything, top 4.
Yeah. That's funny. Good show. Good show.
Yep. Thank you all for tuning in. Thank you for our special guest, Lawler and Crowley, for the chiming in. That's going to do it. But me and Wave, we'll probably be, but why not? We'll do one more just to round it out. And then we'll do a London, maybe more of like a prediction top 8 thing or something. Because like power rankings are kind of weird then. So it's like, we can get more spicy takes with like.
Maybe we find a day in London at the hotel and do it live in person with each other with a whiteboard or something.
James has good cameras and microphones too. So maybe
I got some cool microphones too. I've actually got. I would love a chance to use them. No, I've got the same ones James has. So
you guys are getting all fancy.
Make it happen. Yeah, look at that. We're upgrading our gear.
Yeah. That'll do it for the show. Thank you all for tuning in. We'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Bye.
See you there, boys.